even though I'm making more money than I have ever made before, my personal spending is probably the lowest it has ever been. And one of the reasons for that is because I'm focusing more and more on things that genuinely matter to me. And that means that at this stage of my life, if it's not making me happier, it's not making me healthier, or it isn't getting me any closer to my financial goals, then I am not buying into it. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite purchases that have had the biggest impact to my life in these 3 categories. First on my list is my trusty journal / planner. I started journaling way back. Way back. And I can't quite explain how much writing things down and having a journal has impacted my life. It's made me more mindful, more focused, and more intentional with what I do. And there is so much evidence to show how powerful journaling and self-analysis can be for your development. I use my journal in 2 ways. Firstly, as a self-analysis tool. I log down all my experiences, my insights, my ideas whenever it comes to my mind. And secondly, I use it as a weekly planner to have a clear focus on my top priorities and my non-negotiables every week. The second thing on this list is a specific book, and it's The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Matt Haig, he's written so many books. He is the most productive person ever, but this one specifically is my favorite. It's a super good book for anyone who needs to pick me up and is going through a challenging time. It's basically a self-help book and motivational book, but disguised as fiction. The Midnight Library takes you through a journey with a woman who gets to the end of her life, and she finds herself in this library where each book represents a different life that she could have lived had she made a slightly different decision at a point in her life. The character, Nora, she dips in and out of all of these books, and you follow her into her journey, seeing these different lives, and it reminds you of the joys found in living and that no life is perfect in itself. Next on my list, which is probably to no surprise to anyone who has watched a few of my YouTube videos, and it's this black top. And I love it so much that I have 2 of the exact same ones. It's just the classic black top. So why do I love it so much other than it being incredibly comfortable and incredibly warm? Well, it's made my life so much easier when it comes to recording YouTube videos, as it's just one less decision that I have to make. And I apply this concept in so many areas of my life. I try to limit the amount of decisions I need to get something done. And I think that this is such an important part of being able to stay consistent. When it comes to YouTube, I don't have all the time to just spend recording videos. So I create my environment in a way that makes it a no-brainer for me to take action. So I have my camera set up, I have my tripod set up, I have my lights set up. It doesn't move. A big part of staying consistent is to remove as many restrictions and objections in doing the tasks that I need to do. So this has been a massive help in me staying consistent on YouTube. The 4th thing on my list is outsourcing. This isn't a specific item, but it's just something that I'm spending more and more money on these days. And it gives me back time, it gives me back energy, and it gives me back brain power. If you watch my other videos, you know I talk about the dollar value of my time, and it's something that I've implemented in the last 2 years after reading the book The Almanac by Naval Ravikant. He says we should set an aspirational hourly rate on our time. And then anything that I can outsource for less than that hourly rate, I try and outsource it. So for me, this really applies to household stuff like assembling furniture, cleaning. The amount of high mental energy we have in a day is scarce. So I personally try and spend it doing the big ticket items that will make the most difference to my life. And then any free time that I have, I just use it to chill. Next on my list is another one of my favorite purchases, and it's something that's freed me up so much time without breaking my bank account. And with that, I want to introduce the sponsor of today's video, who I am so excited to be working with because I have been consuming their products for a while now, and that is Huel. Over the past few months, I have become very reliant on Huel, and more specifically their essential meal, and even more specifically their chocolate flavored one. I'm trying to juggle a lot of different things recently, and this has been one of the reasons I've been able to get all my proteins, get all my vitamins, get all my minerals that I need into my diet without sacrificing on my productivity. It's super quick. You add 500 milliliters of water to the shaker. You add 2 scoops of this 100% plant-based essential powder. You give it a good shake, 10 seconds recommended, and you're good to go. There's no time spent in thinking, okay, what am I going to make today? How am I going to get my vitamins and proteins into the meal? Oh, I need to clean up now. All of that just disappears. It's just one less thing to worry about. And it's also really affordable. One of these meals equates to £1. And if you do like it, and if you do want to consider it, then by using the link in my description below, you'll also get a free shaker. Next on my list is fast tech. I don't really believe in upgrading stuff just so I can have the latest version. I had the iPhone 10 up until 4 months ago, but I do believe in updating your tech if you're using it to make a living, because it's one of those things where money out will equal more money in. I spend so much of my workday on this desk, on my laptop, and the majority of my income streams rely on my laptop. So it only makes sense for this to be operating in the most efficient way possible. So I feel that investing in good tech or good anything that you need to get the job done faster or to improve the efficiencies of your money-making stream, then it's a no-brainer. 7th is learning. This for me came after school. At school, I was more focused on just getting good grades than actually learning and understanding the subject. And I guess part of this comes down to the pressures of society that we need to excel, we need to get really good grades, we need to get into a good university, we need to get a good job, and that whole timeline, rather than the focus on learning and developing as a person and becoming financially literate. And I know the word courses are quite frowned upon, but I've paid for so many, and I feel like there is a lot of and a lot of scams out there, and that's why people kind of roll their eyes when they hear the word course. But investing in the right course can seriously fast track your learning. A lot of us are in friend groups or surrounded by people that are in very similar positions to us. They're very similar to us. And I feel like this makes it that much harder to get that breakthrough if that's what you want, because it makes it more difficult to learn and pick up things than if you were already in that group of circle to start off with. You could just learn a lot just by matter of osmosis. In this day and age, the information gap is closing thanks to the internet, and possibilities and the opportunities are available for more and more people to take up regardless of their background. You can learn what's taken someone else years and years to learn in a day or in a week. And I think it's amazing and it really should be utilized. 9th on my list is my whiteboard that I have up over there. I have my overarching goal across the top and then all my actions of the week that will get me closer to there. If you watch my video on how I set my goals for this year, I'll link it up here if you haven't already. But I mentioned in that video how I use a whiteboard to track what I think is the most important part of your goal setting process. And that is your lead measures. These are the actionable things that you are doing every single day. Forget the goal. Just focus on the lead measures. So this whiteboard is updated every Sunday night for the week ahead. If there's one way to stay accountable, it's by having your tasks shoved in your face the entire day. I've made so many of my friends buy one. It's honestly a game changer. 9th on this list is something I want to add because I feel like I did a lot of it in my early 20s, but haven't done so much recently. And that is spending money on experiences and new activities, whether it's taking a weekend out in the countryside, trying out a new activity for the first time. I would always value spending money towards creating a memory over a tangible item that can be replaced. And I really want to make sure that we don't get so caught up in trying to make a living that we forget to live. So I guess I'm adding this to this list to make myself more accountable. And just like how I spent my early 20s making the best memories with the people closest to me, I want to make sure I do the same thing going into my 30s. So those are some of my favorite purchases that have had the biggest impact to my life. I'd love to know what is your single best purchase that has made the biggest impact to your life. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos.